Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Well, I'll tell you, social media is a wonderful tool because it allows news to grow at a pace far rapid than even a wildfire. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about 12-year-old Jaden. Yeah, you guys may have seen this. It's been floating around on the Twittersphere or the Exosphere, whatever the hell we're calling it this week. Jaden is a 12-year-old student who goes to school, public school in Colorado, the Vanguard School District actually in Colorado Springs, and apparently Jaden had the audacity to have one of these patches right here on his backpack. Oh my God, well, what happened? Well, we're gonna talk about what happened. We're gonna talk about the flag. We're gonna talk about some Supreme Court case law so we can all get really educated on exactly what is the deal with this flag. Okay, so the story we're talking about today has been flying like wildfire all around the internet lately, and that is 12-year-old Jaden, young man, true patriot obviously, who goes to public school at the Vanguard School District in Colorado Springs, had the audacity to put a Gadsden flag patch on his backpack. Oh my God. And of course, then this conversation between an administrator and his parent was captured on video and has been making its rounds across various social media platforms. Now, just to clear the record here, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to give you the true and accurate account of the Gadsden flag, because I can assure you that if this particular administrator right here is a product of the Vanguard School District, then we all need to seriously check their history curriculum, because unlike the administrator, who was adamant that this came from the Civil War era and was actually a pro-slavery flag, that is not true at all in any way, shape, or form. Here is the true history of the Gadsden flag. The Gadsden flag is actually named for Brigadier General Christopher Gadsden out of the state of South Carolina. He was a brigadier general in the Continental Army, fought in the Revolutionary War. He designed that flag in 1775, okay, 1 year before we declared our independence. He actually gave that flag to Commodore Essex Hopkins, and that was flown on the mast of Admiral Hopkins' flagship, which was the USS Alfred, during the Revolutionary War. The Continental Marines also used that flag as a symbol, again, during the Revolutionary War. So to suggest that this is based in pro-slavery, in racism, or anything like that is absolutely 100% untrue. It is all based in this country's fight for independence that occurred in 1775 and beyond. Now, the rattlesnake is a symbolism of the unity of the original 13 colonies and was meant to be a warning to the British about violating the rights of the Americans. So you can see the symbolic nature of why many pro-constitutional groups still use the Gadsden flag. Now it was officially adopted in 1778 by the Continental Congress as the official seal for the Department of War. And just to prove how racist this thing is not, you can get some variation of the Gadsden flag on your license plate in the following states: Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Kansas, Maryland, Missouri, Montana, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. So the bottom line is despite the fact that Jaden's mom and Jaden himself tried to explain to the administrator why they were completely wrong and he shouldn't be removed from school, this, in fact, fell on deaf ears. Now, Jaden apparently was given a choice of either remove the patch or leave the backpack behind because it apparently was causing a disruption. Now, the thing I want the Vanguard School District to be aware of, and the thing I want all of you parents out there to be aware of, because there is an absolute not only cultural war going on free speech, but there is also an equal legal battle going to try to squelch out free speech. Free speech so long as it comes from one side of the fence. Now, what the Vanguard School District and all the other school districts need to be aware of is a case called Tinker versus Des Moines. What is Tinker versus Des Moines? Well, it's a case that was decided in 1969 by the United States Supreme Court. It originated in 1965. Mary Beth Tinker was a 13-year-old schoolgirl who wanted to protest the Vietnam War. She wanted to do so by wearing a black armband. When she refused to remove that black armband, she was then suspended from school. Miss Tinker took that all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and in a landmark decision, one that we all talk about when we go to law school, the court ruled, the First Amendment applies to public schools, and school officials cannot censor student speech unless it disrupts the educational process. Because wearing a black armband is not disruptive, the court holds that the First Amendment protects the right of the students to wear them. And so the bottom line is that a school district does have the ability to restrict free speech to some degree, but only if they can establish that it is interrupting the educational process. And there is no evidence in any way, shape, or form that Jaden having this patch, as well as many other patches on his backpack, had any effect on any student around him, had any effect on the curriculum, had any effect on any abilities for anyone to learn any subject that was going on that day. No, instead what this is obvious censorship by the Vanguard School District. Now, I would also point out that if you are familiar with the school district, I am certain that there are many other messages which other people may consider to be strong political messages that I'm sure have been met with great favor by this school district. But it's one thing to be able to restrict free speech in the public school setting so long as you actually can show it interrupts the educational process. But the problem here is the administrator very clearly said that it was about the message it was conveying. And the problem is that this administration was under a misinterpretation, a complete misunderstanding of what the message was that was being conveyed. This had absolutely nothing to do with slavery. This had absolutely nothing to do with anything involving the Civil War. And I don't know much about Jaden's parents, but I'm assuming that they're the kinds of people who probably don't send their kids out to public schools with pro-slavery messages. So the bottom line is the Gadsden flag predates our Declaration of Independence. It is a sign of our fight for freedom. It is a warning to the British not to trample on our rights, and it should serve as a warning to everyone else that that attitude still remains consistent. I know that there's going to be some lawyers jumping in on this. I know that Jaden is going to become a cultural hero. Jaden, if you want to do an interview on Washington gun law, you can contact us anytime you want. You are a brave young man. Keep being a patriot. Kudos to you and your parents. There may be more to develop on this, and we will certainly post more videos if something is newsworthy. I candidly think the Vanguard School District here probably bit off a lot more than they can chew. Listen, if you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information's right down there in the description box. In the meantime, let's all remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay safe.